Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from Street Scores coming with two quick reports. First of all, there's rumors going around that Luke Kuechly wants to coach, and he's even spoken with the Washington football team. Of course, we got to discuss the obvious connection there, as well as why that would be such a great hire for the Washington football team, and especially Jamin Davis specifically. And then also, the Washington football team, the last team in the NFL to not have at least one guy hired for analytics, finally has hired an analytics guy. We're going to discuss that in depth and also take a look at what Ron Rivera has said about analytics and why it's taking so long for us to finally get a guy in the first place. Now, we've been living in the Stone Ages. I mean, apparently it's been working, going from 2-14 to people predicting us to go 10-7, 11-6 within 2 years. But to me, it just can't hurt. So without further ado, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe for more content, man. Endless burgundy and gold content. Any major NFL news that goes down, I got y'all for that. Of course, I'm hitting y'all with the film sessions for every rookie we took in the draft. This entire 2021 draft class, including undrafted free agent rookie running back Jared Patterson as well. Make sure you check out all of my playlists. I keep all of my videos organized. There's even a comedy playlist that I have for y'all for all of my funny videos. So make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get a notification immediately every time I release these videos and live streams. Stay tuned for all of that. Let's get it. All right, so I saw somewhere, there's rumors, there's reports that Luke Kuechly wants to be a linebacker coach at the NFL level. Remember, I mean, he's arguably one of the best linebackers ever. I mean, I don't even have to really read his stats. We all know what he's done. We know the All-Pros. We know the Pro Bowls. We know all of his greatness. I mainly just want to talk about, first of all, his connection to Washington. Let's start there. Obvious connection. Marty Hurney was the GM that drafted him. Ron Rivera was the coach that drafted him. So Luke Kuechly's entire career, he was coached by Ron Rivera, and he had Marty Hurney as his GM. His entire career, that's all he knows. So the obvious connection, the love, the appreciation, the respect is all there. Ron Rivera, I would assume, would love to have him just as part of the team, even if it's not even directly a linebackers coach. Just some type of influence. He can help Jamin Davis, Khaleke Hudson, Shaka Toney, Holcomb, all of these guys become better linebackers. Again, even if he's not a full-blown linebackers coach, at least have him in the building on the field doing something. If he has to be an assistant linebackers coach, whatever you do, whatever Luke Kuechly wants to do, you hire him. I'm sorry. We already have Steve Russ as our linebackers coach, but he's only been doing it for 2 years so far. He actually has some of the least experience out of our entire coaching group. Out of all full-blown positional coaches, him and Drew Terrell, the wide receivers coach, are the only ones with 2 years of experience. Pete Honer has 21 years of experience at tight end. John Moscow has 28 years of experience at offensive line. Ken Zampe's 21 years with quarterbacks. Randy Jordan 16 years with running backs. I mean, even the defensive lines coach, Sam Mills III, 15 years. Chris Harris, the defensive backs coach, 6 years. Even assistants have far more experience than Steve Russ. And I'm not necessarily saying or insinuating that he's doing a poor job. And plus we have Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, who were ex-linebackers in the NFL. So we do kind of have linebacker covered, but like Luke Kuechly, the experience he could bring with him being the most recent linebacker and played at a higher level than all of these guys anybody on our coaching staff has ever played with at the linebacker position. I want him talking to Jamin Davis even more than I want Rivera and Jack Del Rio. I would love all of them together, especially Ron Rivera as the head coach, the culture, how we do things. Jack Del Rio is the defensive coordinator, putting them in the right spots. But I would love Luke Kuechly to just be with Jamin Davis every day, as far as like nutrition, practice habits, the way he exercises, the way he lifts weights, every little minute detail. I want Luke Kuechly around Jamin Davis no matter what. I'm still confused why we haven't gone and gotten Bruce Smith, who offered to be our edge rusher coach after we drafted Chase Young. I'm still confused as to why we didn't pursue that. So Since we didn't go get a Bruce Smith, I'm not optimistic that we may end up signing Luke Kuechly as any type of coach, maybe an assistant or things like that. He's more than likely going to have to work his way up anyway. He wouldn't just come here and immediately be the linebackers coach. But again, I just want him in the building any way, shape, or form, please. But the fact that he's already reached out to the Washington football team shows he has interest. And other than Bruce Smith, who really just doesn't have any connections to this team, Luke Kuechly has an obvious connection with Ron Rivera, basically building the Washington Panthers over here, bringing a lot of guys that he knew, coached, or worked with in Carolina. So Ron Rivera is not afraid to bring in guys that he's worked with closely and has a strong relationship with. So I would be more optimistic about Luke Kuechly over a Bruce Smith. But still, I mean, it's nothing set in stone. Again, we haven't even heard any formal reports. No interviews are set up at all, like nothing. So don't expect anything out of this, but it is interesting to hear that Luke Kuechly is interested in not only becoming a linebackers coach in some way, some form, some capacity, but the fact that he's also even reached out to the Washington football team already. According to reports, again, nothing is finalized. We haven't heard it from Ron Rivera's mouth, Dan Snyder's mouth, or anything like that. But according to reports, Luke Kuechly has reached out to Washington. Now, moving on to the analytics. Like I said in the intro, we were literally the last team in the NFL that didn't at least have somebody designated towards analytics in our franchise. Like literally not even one guy. We were the only team in the NFL until May 24th, 4 days ago. We hired Zahir Benjamin. He will be the Vice President of Business Intelligence and Analytics. Again, since Ron Rivera has been here, this is our first hire at all for anything analytics, and he will report directly to President Jason Wright. So this may actually be more of a Jason Wright hire than a Ron Rivera. What also tells me that is how much Rivera has been against analytics, how much he's pushed back against it. Because even on Rich Eisen's show, Ron Rivera said, quote, "I've had situations where we've gone for it with the analytics and it didn't happen. And I was told, hey, it's okay. You did what the analytics said." And to me, I struggle with that. Because if I did what analytics said and it said 9 times out of 10, you're going to complete it, there's that 1 time out of 10 you don't. So how do you know you're going to be that 1 time out of 10 where you don't, where it isn't successful? There's no guarantee. You can tell me all you want, hey, it's 99%, that's good, but what if you're that 1%? What about that 1 time it doesn't work? Nobody talks about that until it happens. And that's kind of a lot to unpack, but you pretty much get the gist. The thesis statement on that is that Ron Rivera doesn't like analytics, because when things go wrong, you can't just use analytics as an excuse like, well, we went with the analytics, we went with the higher probability. So no, he prefers to trust his gut, his football nature, his instincts, and I can understand why, but I did feel like we were remiss for not at least having somebody, at least in meetings, at least just in the back of your mind, you know, somebody we can reference that just knew analytics. Just at least one guy, even if he doesn't have a super prominent role, even if we don't defer to analytics a lot like a lot of these other teams do, where they literally base their play calling on analytics and things like that. But as long as we just have somebody in the building that knows about analytics and studies all of that stuff and knows the probabilities of things, what things are more likely to happen and why, I feel like that can help us in some way. So I'm very excited about this hire. Again, it's nothing major, but again, I just thought it was a little unwise to not at least have somebody. Again, you don't have to defer to analytics every time. It doesn't even have to be a part of most of your major decisions, but I would prefer when the time is necessary to refer to analytics, you have a professional in the building and not just somebody Googling something real quick or just crunching numbers. You have a guy that's literally his job 24/7, 365. So I'm glad we have somebody in here. And of course, just to break it down, Zahir Benjamin will oversee the organization's data and analytics strategies to optimize marketing, brand performance, and commercial success. So it's not even necessarily on the football side, like I said, it's more of a Jason Wright hire on the business side, but at least there's somebody. There's somebody that cares about statistics, analytics, probability, and things like that. I'm pretty sure if they ever have like a football question on probability and statistics and analytics and things like that, they may refer to him. But again, as long as we have them at least on the business side, I'm content with that. At least we just have somebody in the building. Again, that's all I care about. Just somebody in the building that knows what they're doing as far as that goes. just in that whole field, that realm of math and science. Washington also said Zahir's hiring continues the Washington football team's investment in business innovation strategies and further builds upon the strong leadership team assembled over the last year in Washington. We're moving into the future, people. No more Stone Age things. Again, we may be a little bit more instincts and Stone Age and gut feeling and trust on the football side, but at least the business side, we're coming with straight data and numbers. As part of his role developing and managing the Washington football team's business data and analytics, he will create predictive models to drive experimentation and analysis across the business, oversee customer analysis and channel optimization strategies, and support the president and executive team on data-driven decision-making on commercial initiatives. Zahir even said it himself, how organizations leverage data and analytics to make informed decisions is a critical component of success on and off the field. I'm excited to work with Jason and the leadership team on ways we can leverage strategic data analysis to put the Washington football franchise at the forefront of the global sports and entertainment landscape. Again, it's just one of those things where he can only help. Bringing him in really doesn't hurt anything. All it can do, there's no risk, potentially all the reward with him being there. And just to let you know, before being hired here, Zahir served as the head of global partnership strategy for the Real Madrid club de football. So he was over there at Real Madrid with an even larger role than he has here. So that's interesting that he left that role for a more specific, technically lower role here. But his experience with being responsible for defining the club's strategic positioning in the global marketplace, as well as identifying and commercializing new and unique business opportunities across various verticals in sports, media, and the entertainment landscape, is definitely something very beneficial that I'm pretty sure nobody else within our entire franchise and organization has. And he also has very similar jobs all around Europe and America as well. So he's worked for several places. So he's coming here with a lot of experience. Again, I'm just happy to have him in the building. Even if he doesn't play a very important role, even if he doesn't directly lead to more wins for this team, especially immediately, I know at least he's going to help with the rebranding, just the overall business side, marketing, rebranding, and just having another smart guy in the building. A guy that knows how to do something very well that nobody else in our building before he was hired could do very well. Again, it can only help us, can't really hurt us. But that's the end of this video. Again, just wanted to talk about all of that. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please like this video if you liked it. If you learned anything, please subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get more informative and opinionated videos like this one. And as always, man, I really appreciate all of the support, man, big time from all of y'all. Shouts out to everybody that donates to the channel. Big shouts out to all of my sponsors, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors whose names you see scrolling on the screen right now. Special shouts out to my one All-Pro sponsor, Jaden, man. I really appreciate all y'all. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.